Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to a fantastic episode in which we're gonna do a very interesting test. So what we're gonna do in this episode, we're gonna test the Red Heavy Trooper, just like you see him now on the screen, with this set, the Xyston set. Let me click a second the attributes and you can pause the video right now and have a closer look at the stats right here. So this setup here versus the new Heavy Trooper, also with full modules, but in this case we're actually gonna use the other set, and the best way for me to do that is actually take the same set you see right here, but in this case I'm gonna replace this with the Kris sword. Now granted, we see there a 15% DEF for air, but dear beautiful people, I'm a player just like you guys. In other words, I would love to show you 100 battle reports. I would love to show you these two chips having literally the same stats. Fact is, I'm a player like you and we are extremely limited in this game Top War to do tests. So I'm gonna try my best and this is definitely gonna be worth to watch. So for today's episode, of course, we always have a sponsor, and that's Mr. Roman from server 2216. So now let's have a look at the stats difference and let me explain you exactly how I thought this test would make sense. So for that we have 10 attacks. Sadly I cannot show you more than this. I'm super limited due to Riva Game not understanding the necessity of a testing tool. So let's have a look into the setup, and first of all we have to mention that the goal of this test is not to beat Mr. Roman. It's quite the opposite. I'm gonna go exactly with this setup, which we're gonna have a look in a second, and then do the same thing one more time, the same heroes which you see on the screen, Mr. Bradley, Shinji and Abad, and do it with the other Heavy Trooper. So let's have a look at the attributes. So I'm going with the Bradley level 5, Shinji level 7 and Mr. Abad level 5. He has a Bradley level 5, Asuka level 6 and Shinji level 7. And yeah, you can have a look at the gear if you are interested. And here are our two Heavy Trooper setups right here. But again, this comparison is not about between me and him. It's between my original setup with the Red Heavy Trooper with the Xyston set versus the new Heavy Trooper with the new Heavy Trooper chipset. So I'm clicking on this so you can have another look, and perks are on. Let's have a look at the stats difference. So we are both using the Air Force for this video right here. And yes, indeed, there is a difference between me and Mr. Roman because yes, I said in the previous episodes he is stronger than me. It doesn't change the fact, here are the stats right here. You can see it for yourself. And of course, let's have a look at the DEF. That's also super important. And here you're gonna notice, yes, I have a 40.2% Air Force DEF versus his 24.6, and he is slightly higher when it comes down to DEF of all units. Now what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna put all 10 battle reports on the screen. You though only gonna see 9 of them because I'm not such a skillful editor, but it doesn't change the fact that one battle report was also 65%, but I'm gonna show you that differently in a second. So let's put all these battle reports on the screen. So beautiful people, these are the 9 battle reports on the screen right now, and what we are looking at right here is how many units he actually was able to survive with. Now let's scroll up for all these 9 reports in order for you also maybe to pause the video and see also the performance of Shinji, Abad and so on. And here you see, yes indeed, we have the Red Heavy Trooper. We have used, by the way, the formation. Since we are using the Heavy Trooper, why not use the formation, of course. But what we haven't used are the Encyclopedia units, and we haven't used the Valhalla units. So I'm just gonna scroll like here in order for you to be able to see the performance for each of these battle reports. So let's call the third one here, for example, so you can see far better the hero performance. Let's scroll this one down. Let's scroll this one up. Let's take the next one here. And of course the last 3 battle reports. Let's scroll them up in order to see the hero performance. These are the battle reports, but I can do you one better because I'm showing you right now all 10 battle reports exactly like this. So you guys are used to this, especially if you saw the previous episodes of the tank meta or planes meta or the Navy meta, because the lower this value is, the better my performance is. So this is the performance from, sadly, only 10 attacks. Again, I would have loved to be able to show you more, but this was done with the arena. So you see in this analysis that the best performance I have achieved with this setup, the Red Heavy Trooper with a Xyston set, is 51% units left on Mr. Roman's march, and the worst performance possible was 74%. So also we have here the average, which is a 65% units left on Mr. Roman's march. And of course he has a march of 283 units plus also those 28 reinforcements, meaning I'm always fighting a march which has 311 units in total. So just in case you are curious, 1% will represent 3.11 units. So good. This is the performance of the Red Heavy Trooper with a Xyston set. Now let's have a look at the new Heavy Trooper, which is the Luminary Knight with full modules, by the way. And this time we're also going to use the new Heavy Trooper chip and see if there is a difference. Okay, so let's have a look at the second setup, and one thing has changed indeed, and you really have to pay attention. So here is the new Heavy Trooper. As you can see here, it has full modules, but the stats difference between me and Mr. Roman are not quite necessarily literally the same, because there is one small difference. And guys, this is the best I can do because I had to put this middle chip in there, and the other 6 chips are literally the same. This is the main setup of my Heavy Trooper. So I'm just going to briefly click on the chip so you can also see that. And in the middle, it was literally this one right here. So that's the difference, a 15.36 Air Force DF. Sadly, guys, this is the best I can do. But trust me, the results look pretty awesome, but we will have to take this in consideration. So let's have a look at the battle reports for a second. And again, a huge shout out to Mr. Roman. This is the 3rd day in which we are testing. Now, don't worry, I'm going to put everything on the screen. So what you see here, of course, we are using the Heavy Trooper. We are not using the Encyclopedia units. We are not using Valhalla units. And let's go briefly and see the setup again. And nothing else has changed on his side nor on my side, only the Heavy Trooper. And here again you see he has maximum modules. This is what I have changed. And of course what you're seeing here, again we are using the formation. So no panic, guys. Let me put now all the battle reports on the screen. And take a moment of your time to take a look at them, how they look like. Only 9 of them. There are 10 in total. You're soon going to see all 10 of them. And what I'm also going to do right now, I'm going to slowly move them also up in order for you to see also the hero performance. So what I suggest, of course, is take a moment of your time. You can pause the video, take a screenshot, and you can study this further on if you need to. But now let's put the whole 10 battle reports on the screen. And again, we have to say, the lower the value, the better it is. And here are the results. Here are the amount of units which Mr. Roman had still left in his march. And here you see the best performance from my side is when Mr. Roman had 42% units left. And of course, the worst performance was when he had 69% of his units in his march still left alive. And of course, what we are seeing here is the average of 56%. So you know what? Let's move this now to the side. And let's put on the left side the Blazing Gale, which is the Red Heavy Trooper, plus the Xyston set chip. And here is also the summary. So you see here there is indeed a difference. And here we have to mention a couple of very, very important things. So first of all, you remember I told you that the Red Heavy Trooper, that middle chip, the Xyston, had the extra 15.36% DEF extra, which the other one right here doesn't have it, if you remember correctly. Another thing which is super important to mention in here is I hope you saw today's episode regarding a bug on Mr. Abbat. In other words, as he is right now, his ignition buff will only gonna buff the ignition on the 3 targets, which only comes at the beginning of each round, and nothing else will be buffed from the ignition point of view. So if you saw that episode and if you also read the update comment, which I have pinned to that video. River Game is fully aware of this and they're gonna fix it. Of course, tomorrow I'm going to try to find out how exactly they want to fix it. And this is a very important piece of information because as he looks right now, he is slightly better than Asuka from the performance. And if River Game actually decides to let his ignition buff from level 5 and level 7 to apply on all ignitions, if this hero is within that much, that will gonna make him definitely more powerful. So beautiful people, you know what, a lot of you also asked to see a battle animation, so I'm gonna pick a battle animation from this new heavy trooper and I'm gonna put on the left side the result in which you can also see who is the defender and who is the attacker, because of course on the right side you also gonna see this graphic, which is also super important. So what you can do right now is to enjoy of course the music and have a look at how this new heavy trooper actually performs, just in case you are curious. So beautiful people, as always, do not forget to support what supports you back, and yes, that's exactly this channel. So please take a moment of your time, check if you are a subscriber, give a like, give a dislike, write a comment, ask a question, share it with your friends, you know the drill. So thank you very, very much for watching, and don't forget to see me in the next episode. Ciao beautiful people.
We'll be right back.